Okay.
All right, so here we go. I am currently recording. So good evening, everyone. We're going to be reviewing chapter 12 and 13 in the book, The Complete How-To Guide for Notaries. So let me open my book and go to chapter 12. So for those of you who have read chapter 12 and 13, we're going to start with 12. So did you guys have any questions, anything that you wanted to share, anything you had noticed? Just, what up?
I think depositions was interesting. I was like, whoa, that was complicated.
I said the same thing. I'm glad we don't do it anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm like, dang.
Right. Okay.
That might be a job I kind of avoid.
Right.
Has anybody done a protest?
Nope.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think that's the one we're referring to, that protest, and how the recorder at the courts are usually the ones that do it, or you have to be special trained or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not interested.
I was also reading under depositions. I had started a couple of sentences. So I was looking 1, 2, 3, like the fourth paragraph of the depositions, where it says in these circumstances, the local notary merely administers an oath or affirmation and then executes a jurat. Remember, we were talking about that last meeting about whether when we administer the oath affirmation during the deposition, are we going to be doing a certificate at all? So it's kind of conflicting information, because in the last chapter it said that you didn't have to do a certificate and that you could but you still needed to fill out a journal entry. But here it's saying that you execute a jurat. So it's a little confusing.
It is, definitely.
Yeah.
Made my head hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, do you execute a jurat or not when you do an oath affirmation for depositions?
That's probably why no one here has ever done one.
Or wants to.
Right.
Right, for that matter.
Right. And then I also it said the term deposition is often used interchangeably with affidavit, but there are major technical differences. So like a deposition is associated with a lawsuit or a trial.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike an affidavit, which may not be, and so, which is true, because, if any of you do loan signings, you will have a bunch of affidavits in there, signature affidavit, name affidavit. So that makes sense. That did make sense.
Yeah, these were nice 2 short chapters.
Yeah. And then let me see, what else did I start off? Oh, notaries often will encounter previously prepared documents containing the term depose, which means in this context testify under oath or affirmation. But such documents cannot precisely be described as depositions because the notary has not sworn in the signer beforehand and written down the spoken testimony. So it says those are more properly termed affidavits and may be executed by notaries without any special expertise. So sometimes if you see an affidavit, it may have on there, the person, it may have depose or deponent on there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a deposition. And that does happen on the affidavit. Sometimes you will see that verbiage there. I really liked reading the Louisiana notary laws. Is there anybody here that's a Louisiana notary? No? Dang. I was hoping. So I was going to say, what all can you guys do? Because I know just reading here, first of all, I learned that Louisiana notaries, they don't have to renew their commission like we do. Like once they become a notary, they're a notary. And I'm like, man, that's awesome.
I wonder
wish.
though, like they don't have to renew it, but do they like, I mean, it's like becoming a notary and then you don't do the act. What's the purpose? And do they have to how would you do like some follow-up test or something? I wonder.
I don't know.
Looks like most of them are attorneys. Looks like
I'm
most
sure
of
they
them.
would have to resign, but
Yeah.
they just don't have to renew. I just thought that was really interesting. I was like,
Yeah,
dang, I wish.
That was weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
Now,
But it sounds to me like they're pretty specialty trained, and a lot of them are attorneys.
yeah, for the
Probably
most
why,
part,
because the majority of them are attorneys. Could be.
Mhm.
yeah.
Wonder how they do
Now, I
loan
don't
signing
know.
over
I
there.
don't know if the notary that is in the group from Louisiana, I don't know if she's an attorney or not. I would have to pick her brain a little bit, but
Yeah,
I did
it'll be
find that
interesting and
pretty
bringing her
interesting.
into a conversation.
Yeah. Now,
come on.
here for marriages, you guys do know that they added, I think, 2 or 3 states to that list now that can perform marriages as a notary. And they'll probably start to implement that, in more states, to give the county and the courts, their time back to actually do justice work, as opposed to doing, marriage officiating.
Mhm.
So Maine, South Carolina, Florida, and Nevada. And hold on, I got it right here because I have posted it some time ago. Okay, here we go. Did I have Maine on here? Oh, so Montana is another one.
Well, didn't we have Donna from Montana? Wasn't she from Montana? Donna?
I don't know,
I don't see her today.
but
But
they
I
can
believe,
also officiate weddings. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
In additional powers, did you guys get a chance to look at that for the different states who have additional powers?
Mhm.
Especially with us, we know that we can do VIN verification and we can do safe deposit box verification or certification rather. And notaries in Washington, Jane, did you want to explain that part of it?
Is that we can certify that an event has occurred or an act has been performed. Such certification is based on either the notary's personal knowledge or on the oath or affirmation of a credible witness. So not 100% sure where we would use that, but apparently we can do it.
Okay. And then Texas.
That's the only little extra you get.
That's all. I tried to look in my primer.
And then remember with the last chapter, we were talking about how proof of acknowledgement, where a person can sign saying that they saw a person sign a document because they weren't able to be present. Texas can do that. So I was like, oh, okay. I was wondering what states, because remember when we talked last, there was nobody in here who said that they could do that, I don't think. So no one in Texas can do it.
The Washington one is a little bit confusing because I tried to look it up in the primer and I didn't see anything regarding this. But to certify that an event has occurred or an act has been performed, to me, that almost sounds like a marriage, but we're not.
Yeah, like you're being a witness. You saying it did occur.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm not sure what that's for. Haven't run into it yet.
And then Pennsylvania, they have functions in processing paperwork for the registration and conveyance of motor vehicles. So that was interesting. Yeah, let's see. Was there anything else? Nope, that was it. Did you guys have anything else regarding chapter 12? No,
Just short and sweet.
Yeah,
it
not
was.
really.
It was.
And a lot of things related to that we went over previously as well. So same thing with the
Right.
next chapter. We discussed that a few times,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which was another short and sweet chapter.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it was kind of tricky, but then it just makes sense. Like, I wouldn't notarize something that I don't understand,
Exactly.
So the only difference is I did notarize a power of attorney that was in another language, but that was because it was going to be apostilled and going to the country where that's the language that they spoke. So that was the only exception where I did that. But other than
You
that,
didn't
and
the certificate though was in English, right?
yes,
Right. Okay.
yeah, but the document itself wasn't.
Right.
So
I think that's where I was confused because I remember seeing in a couple of groups where people said that you can do documents in another language as long as your certificate is in your language because we're not really concerned with what the document's about. But if we don't know what the document is, then we don't know what certificate to use.
true.
And we
And
don't
if,
really see
and
which
if
one anyways, right?
And
right,
then
we
the
don't
signer, you want to
choose.
the signer, if he speak your language, it's like, do you understand this as well? But
Right.
Mhm.
Like the signer will have to be able to tell you,
tell you,
what type of notarization if you're not able to obviously see it in the document itself. So yeah. So really, really good information regarding foreign language documents. But basically, I wouldn't notarize anything I can't understand.
me
And
neither.
like I said, excuse me, and like I said, the only exception would be for apostles, obviously, because, you know, um, I was told that sometimes if the document arrives in in the place where it was going and it's in English, that they may deny it. So that was the only exception in that case. But yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't do it. Now I did have one document. It was actually another document that I had notarized. It was going to Europe. So, and it didn't need to be apostle, but the document was basically proving that the lady is still well and alive so that she can still receive her late husband's pension or something like that. Like
Yeah.
they needed proof. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of countries, like my friends from Australia, and we did an apostle for her. She married one of American here, and so when they were getting all their paperwork together, she remembered she has a pension in Australia and needed to have that done.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, the country gives some kind of benefit, when they become older.
Oh,
So
okay.
I imagine kind of like our Social Security or something to that effect. But
Right. Now I don't know if she had to get the document apostle afterwards. Maybe she already knew how to do it because she didn't ask me to do it. She just asked me to notarize the document. And I remember having to cross out the certificate because it was in French. And then I attached my certificate. But
yeah,
other than that, she filled out the information the way it was supposed to be. So
yeah.
yeah.
As I understand the apostles, you have to take it down to the capital yourself and prove that you're the notary that did that.
Well, no, if you're notarizing it, then all they're going to do is they're going to verify your notary information because your notary information is going to be on the certificate. They're going to
Mhm.
authenticate it themselves. And then they, as long as everything else checks out, then they'll issue the apostle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't live that far from.
Huh?
I don't
What'd you
live
say?
that far from the capital, so I just go down.
You're so lucky. I have to
Yeah.
use an apostle runner when I do apostles for that because I don't live close.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, then that's it. That's it for chapter 12 and 13. Now, unless you guys had any other questions about it. Did you look ahead to 14 and see what that was about?
I had a question. Sorry, I'm late.
Okay.
You may have discussed this, but on I think it was chapter 13.
Mhm.
When I was filling out the notary log, they put jurat. I took it as when reading that it could be an acknowledgement because the difference is just who you're, pledging to. So would it be an acknowledgement or could it be an acknowledgement if we put it in our journal?
So, what is that regarding, though? Is that the oath and affirmation?
Let me see. Hold on. I don't have my book open. It's
Because
in
chapter
regards to
13 is about.
chapter 13 when it was the Juan Martinez when he was doing the translation declaration.
Oh, let me go back. Let me look. Oh, okay. For number 7.
Yes.
Okay. Translator name 1. And see when this appears before you to sign a swear to a translator's declaration that attached to English language translation of the man. Personally, know Martinez who resides. You do not charge for the knowledge to complete the following journal entry.
Just think it could be either or, but they said it's a jurat as the type of notarization.
The reason why it's a jurat because you see the key word in there. He appears before you to sign and swear to a translator's declaration. You got to pay attention to the key words in there. So that's why they would say it was a jurat.
Okay. And if it was an acknowledgement, it wouldn't be swear; it would be pledge or.
No, it'll say appears before you to sign and acknowledge their signature on the document.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Or to prove that's his signature on the document or to attest that the signature is his on the document. That's an acknowledgement.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. So our next chapter that we're going to be discussing, pretty short and sweet too, is going to be chapter 14 and 15. Oh, notarizing for minors. Yeah. I know we talked about that before, but that'll be nice to read on. Okay. Chapter 14 and 15. So I assume they're all just going to be kind of short and sweet because we're getting to the end of the book. I cannot wait to read the next book with you guys because that's going to be nice to discuss.
Which
What
one
book
is that?
is that? Did you decide on that?
Yeah, it's going to be Professor Clausen's Notary Best Practices.
Oh, I don't have that one.
I don't have it either. I'm going to have to order it. I don't have it yet either, but I'm going to order it. And
Is it on the NNA?
yes, it is. And I don't know if it's on Amazon too. Let me see. I'm going to look right quick.
Don't we get a discount on the NNA if you remember?
I think.
Well, if it ain't much
I
of a
don't know.
discount, then Amazon, here I come.
Yeah.
If Amazon has it.
But I don't think it's a major discount.
Right. Professor Clausen.
Hey, we can use somebody's shipping code.
Professor Clausen.
Mhm.
Go to the TNT training. You might get a shipping code.
Practices. I don't see it on Amazon, so.
Not on it.
Well, I don't know. Let me take off his name and see.
Yeah, just put notary best practices. I didn't look. Let me go look too.
I know when I tried Googling it the night that you said that we were going to be reading that, I was having a hard time finding it.
Yeah, it's definitely on NNA website, but
yeah, they probably exclusively gave it to them.
Yeah, probably. So let
Is
me
this
go
book
on here.
called Professor Closen's Notary Best Practices?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it on
Okay, so
NNA?
it is on Amazon. I'm seeing it right on here.
Oh, I don't see it.
Yeah, I just
Me either.
Googled Notary Best Practices. And
I did.
let me see here. It's coming up as paperback. I want to
Here
see
it
if it's
goes.
Apple or
Mine pulled it up, but then
It
when
says
it,
currently unavailable.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it says. Yeah, I'm looking into that now. It's currently unavailable.
yeah.
So yeah, we would have to get it on the NNA website.
And I'm Tammy, everyone.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
Hi,
Tammy.
Tammy.
And yes, I'm Australian, if you're picking up that accent.
Oh, sweet.
Let's see. What you say?
She's
She's
Australian.
Australian?
I am
Yeah.
Australian. Yeah, you guys
All
were talking
right.
about Elsie just before and having to do a,
Mm-hmm.
what was it that you had to do for her?
I had to notarize a document for her to receive her late husband's pension
Okay, yeah.
from
Oh, yeah. I was
Um,
talking to my
great.
friend from Australia there.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
I
they do
love
have a
meeting
very
people.
generous pension.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a good thing.
Is this your first book club, Rochelle?
It
is
is.
this my first?
What, right. This is the first book club you did. The first book?
Yes. This is the first book.
Everybody have the Sign and Thrive book?
I
That's
do
gonna
have
be
some.
the next one. That's gonna be the next one too. I also want to do the link to. I've already read Sign and Thrive, but I want to do that one with you guys too. It was a really interesting read, and I also
Sign and
want to do the
Thrive.
LinkedIn one.
I'm still reading it.
Is Sign and Thrive specifically for signings?
No, it's not, but it does talk about signings and general notary, and it also talks about marketing and business practices, and it's just a really good book. It's a really
Perhaps
good book.
we probably could choose a marketing book too. See how
I
we
think-
can market and brand ourselves out there, and
Mhm.
I think
different
this
areas of
Sign and
marketing.
I
LinkedIn
agree.
is
We'll have that in there. All right.
best practices.
I agree. Okay, I'm looking for the book, guys, because I'm going to share the link in the chat here. Where are you? Let me see how much it is because I have to order it as well. I don't have it, but it was on my list of books that I would like to read. So why not read it with you guys? So it is $29 for the book, and it is on NNA website, and here is the link. I shared it in the chat. I see a message from Val McCall. Welcome. Oh, this is your first book club meet. So have you read the book? Up to the point where we are now, or are you working on it? Martha.
It's about to storm here right now.
Oh, it was
is it?
storming. It was storming here really bad before
Oh,
I got on
my
here.
boys
Coming my way.
My boys are moving to Orlando, Florida. They're on their way over there. They're
They're
driving.
the ones bringing it.
Oh
They're
man.
coming in the middle of the peak of hurricane season. It's like this is when it begins.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally.
Now they'll get
No,
some
she's right.
experience, I suppose.
Yeah, once August is over, then it's like back to back.
My boys are very close, and they're driving over there. One of them's moving in to some house they got already figured out. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to at least stop the recording. We don't have to leave the room if you don't want to, but I'm going to stop the recording since we're done reviewing the 2 chapters. And like I said, next chapter is going to be what, 14 and 15 that we're going to review.
Great.